Hello, I'm Austin Bradley and I'm doing my personal analysis for Robert Solomon's chapters 5 and 6 readings. Chapter 5, Freedom and Responsibility. Are we free as people and in society? No, I do not believe we are free entirely, because if we were, we would have no such words as law, regulation, and those sorts of definitive connotations in our dictionaries. Let's just say that one person's view of how to live right is different from another person's view of living right. You would have conflicting views throughout, and as a result there would be many protests and riots, and possibly wars in the world, and that would result in a dystopia, a big one. So it would be very messy. There have to be legal safeguards for many people in society to exist decently and without trouble. So it is very important to have that. However, we do have a free will. Of course, as long as it conforms to the legal connotations in society, that free will of yours can be achieved successfully. If it disrupts the legal terms of society, then your free will dies as it was conceived. However, once again, what is free will? I believe we all have a mental free will and a spiritual free will for ourselves. We could think and praise about whatever we want, how to do, as long as it's within our mental borders. Nobody can't really read your mind to just criticize you and to slap you in the face about what you think about. That's what your mind is somewhat there for, to comprehend thoughts or actions. And do not expect punishment out of whatever you think. And hopefully it's positive thoughts, however. So to establish that free will is very great in the mind and in the soul if you have a great spirit of religion. So no problems there with that free will if you have that kept to yourself. But if you act it out that does not conform to the legal standings of society, forget you. Don't mean to talk like CeeLo Green, but that's the case here if it does not conform to society. Can free will and foreknowledge be compatible to one another? Well, if they was like a newly wed couple, might as well just have the divorce certificate wrote out the very next day. Because foreknowledge, if you're predestined to live a particular way, then foreknowledge will dominate your standings over free will ideals. If you can imagine a free will that you want to succeed in something, and if it turns out with your foreknowledge that it happens, like say you want to go to college, or you start a business yourself that makes big profits. If your foreknowledge proclaims this, then you're doing great. If it conforms to that, yes, but hardly ever that does not work out. So 9 out of 10 times it will go against. If you think of something that's opposite of what your foreknowledge wants you to do and expects you to do, it's not going to work out. So having that foreknowledge over you instead of your free will, mental or spiritual, it's good to have your fantasies and your desires. That's what keeps a lot of people going about things. But your foreknowledge will overrule the free will, because it is more powerful. It is pinpointing how you're going to live day to day from the time you're born to the time you die. No one can control that, unless if you have a free will that conforms to those foreknowledge events. So I can't really say positive of them being happily together. They won't be. They're incompatible. For chapter 6, how should we live? Morality and ethics. With American philosopher John Rawls making his definitive point of justice for everyone, not just for just a select few, but for everyone. That's important. I am for Mr. Rawls for justice because justice is impartial. Justice does not favor just a certain sect of people or sects of people. No matter how wealthy or poor you are, no matter what kind of education background you have, no matter what race, creed, religion, ethnicity background, whatever you or I or anyone else in this world has about legal matters, justice is impartial to all of us. And we respect justice because it is impartial, make impartial rulings. So it is great that everybody is equally protected under justice and the legal status quo. If we stray from that, then society would be a muck, and then it'd be a dystopia like I talked about earlier. So it is very important that everybody is assured of fair justice and fair rights. Unfortunately, a lot of nations in this world do not exercise rights like here in America we have. So very grateful that we are living in a democracy and freedom-loving country with fair justice involved. That utilitarianism kind of attitude, it means well to support most of everyone. But when you leave out a few of minorities, then that does hurt. So really, utilitarianism, not really the best in that sense. And Rawls does point that out with justice. And that is a very good point and connotation he made about it. Now, in terms of understanding whether religion plays a role in the moral and ethical life, let's just say ethics and morality are college courses that everyone has to take and passes well. Well, with religion is like extra credit for those classes if you do screw up in a moral or ethics sense. Sure, morality and ethnicity ethics require that you have to live within the legal means of society. If you stray away from that, then you're breaking the law and boom, you have to pay for that. Religion is just something to go back upon when you need some refreshment of guidance. A lot of the legal terms and terminology have been from religious scriptures. A lot of the legal terms and cases have been based on religious scriptures. So it's hard to really stray from religion in order to live better for yourself in society, because a lot of laws have been based on religion, despite with Thomas Jefferson writing that Danbury letter about the separation of church and state. Religion does play a role in certain passages of laws, or certain passages of laws, let me rephrase that. So it would be hard to not have religion entirely, but you cannot eliminate religion to try to do well morally and ethically. Not everybody has to embrace religion. There's a lot of non-believers out there that live perfect moral and legal lives. No problem. I'm not bad-mouthing them. It's just important, if you do embrace religion, that comes for your spiritual free will, however. You're not going to be punished if you worship a religion. Of course, a lot of world nations do still yet, and unfortunately that ought to be disbanded, no matter how you believe. Those rights should be protected for religion. like we do for this nation. So, it's very important to keep religion in the equation of trying to do well in society. Religion is there if anyone wants to believe it through their spiritual and mental free will. But to have a moral and ethical good standing, stay within the legal means, and if you need to be refreshed, to be reiterated in knowing to do better and to do well further for yourself, and to believe that you have an afterlife, try to understand a religion and have that moral identity established, like I have said in many videos past. Get that moral identity established. It is there if you want it, but you have to want it and receive it in order to get it. However, if you don't want it, don't want to receive it at all, that's fine. You will not be punished for that. No big deal. But that free will can change any time in our lives when we need it the most. So it's always there, but you have to have that spiritual and mental free will. But as long as you do well in society, it is not a big problem. So just try to stay within the legal boundaries and you will do fine. I hope this message finds everyone well and have a happy fall, first day of fall. And I'm trying to cut down a little bit on my facial fuzz. I like my sideburns. And hopefully my hair, I'm going to try to have a haircut here soon. So hopefully I'll have a new look for the next video. So have a good one, everyone.